Hey, everybody. Give me just a couple minutes. I'm running behind, but I am here. So just bear with me for a minute. I have to use a calculator really quick. I know that sounds crazy, but I do, and I will be right back. I'm thankful to see all of you here and thankful so many of you are down in the chat. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Becca. I will look at the chat in just a moment, guys. Give me just a couple seconds. I'm going to mute my mic just so you don't hear all the background noise. Sorry. Okay. Is my audio okay? I gotta go into YouTube really quick. How's everybody doing today? Are any of you experiencing shutdowns from this crazy virus that's going around? I am going to be on later with True Helper, just going over some things and some stuff you can do to be prepared, just some easy things and some awareness stuff, and try to take away some of that fear that people are experiencing. I will be 100% honest. I am not one of those people that ever really has given, I don't want to say I haven't given it much thought, but in the past, when we've seen outbreaks like this, it's never really something that I became alarmed about. I don't know. I don't know what's going on this time. Things are a little bit different, it seems. My children's school actually closed for 3 weeks last night after I got off the air. So my kids are now out of school for 3 weeks, which is crazy. I feel really bad for all of the parents that are having to make last minute plans for childcare because they're working. I feel bad for all of the children who live in poverty. And, you know, a lot of those kids, they depend on the school system for their lunches and their breakfasts. And so I'm just like, I'm a humanitarian as it is. So I'm just overall worried about people not having what they need, or not being able, especially little kids, not being able to. I think about like inner city schools where kids literally go to school so that they can eat. And it's so sad to me that right now, you know, those little kids might be worrying. The kids across the nation right now might be worrying about being out of school because they don't know how they're going to eat. It's very, very sad to me. It upsets me. We'll talk more about that later. I wanted to just go over a couple things. There's, of course, nothing new to update in Gannon's case. I'm going to put his picture up on the screen because I would much rather look at Gannon's a memorial photo for Gannon than look at my own face and all of that. I think he deserves the screen. Yeah, that's completely fine, April. I don't think that we're going to talk so much about that. It just, you know, because people are freaking out. They're completely freaking out, which is understandable, but it's more so to maybe take away a little bit of fear and help people with some simple things they can do instead of having to run to the store and do this and that. And, because that's really the worst thing that you can do is put yourself out there in the public. But anyways, I totally respect that you don't want to listen to that. I understand wholeheartedly. Thank you, Mignon. It's good to see you on here. Oh boy, Sheila Pink Lady, you are a grandma of 3 and are going to be babysitting. Good luck. Prayers for you, definitely. I work remotely from home, so my 2 boys will be home with me. And let me just tell you, they are as different as night and day. Hey, Madam Deficit. They literally, down to the colors they like, the clothes they wear, the food that they eat, are exact opposites. So if you can imagine when you have 2 children who are exact opposites, and not only that, but they're 5 years apart. So there's lots of fighting, lots of it. So I need probably prayers for sanity to be able to get through a 40-hour work week at home and have 2 boys home for 3 weeks unexpectedly. Oh, that's interesting, Sheila. Isn't it crazy? It's crazy to me how you can have children who have the same parents, same mom and dad, and they're so different. It's very fascinating to me. Oh, you work from home too, Madam Deficit. Neat. That's interesting. I'm going to have to message you. So, what I wanted to go over today was about Gannon's case. Let me get his picture up there. I told you guys I would get his picture up there. Something for Gannon up there at least. I would much rather look at a picture of him. Okay. And of course, as always, I apologize for any background noise, any husky howls, any teenage boy or preteen boy arguing in the background or talking. This is real life here. A lot goes on at my house, so I guess you can consider them part of the show. Ah, yes, I love my huskies. Only one of them will cuddle, though. Only one. Thanks for joining us, Becky. Thanks for joining us. So, what I wanted to go over, I went through the witness list, and I just wanted to point some things out. It's very interesting when you break it down. I know I talked a little bit about it last night, and I did not go over how many agents were actually involved in this case. I kind of skipped that whole part because there were so many listed, and I wanted to be able to go through them thoroughly and try to categorize them and all of that. And here's what I've came up with. If my numbers aren't exact, I apologize. I would say that they're pretty accurate, give or take a, few here and give or take a few overall. If I missed any, it would be like 3 or 4. Here's what we have. When it comes down to the number of investigating agencies and investigators, this is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Aw, thanks for coming here, Bridget. We enjoy everybody who comes here. We try to keep it as peaceful as possible here, no drama. So we appreciate you being here. Sometimes we laugh and giggle and joke and just to, lighten up the mood, because covering cases like this can be very, very tormenting emotionally and just sad overall. You'll need nerve meds after this is over, Sheila. So let's break this down really quick. I think this is important. This gives the public an idea of how much effort in investigating has went into Gannon's case this far, which is insane. I know some people say that, or some people have the idea that Tisha is not smart. I do disagree with that. I think that she may not speak like she is very educated. I think she is a very cunning woman. She is very manipulative. She is sneaky. These are all my opinions. Just because she doesn't speak like she's educated, you can't underestimate her. If, and this is again my opinion, but if she didn't have some sort of manipulating calculation, I wouldn't be looking at these numbers in front of me right now. And this is what we have, because this is mind-blowing. We'll start with the FBI. The FBI involved in this case consists of 58 FBI agents out of the Denver FBI division. 58, that's just in Denver. Then we're going to move on to other states. There's one FBI agent involved from Columbia, South Carolina, one FBI agent involved from Charleston, West Virginia, one FBI agent involved from Everett, Washington, 3 FBI agents involved from Washington, D.C., 13 FBI agents involved from Myrtle Beach, 4 FBI agents involved from Jacksonville, Florida, 1 FBI agent involved from Jackson, Mississippi, 1 FBI agent involved from Monroe, Louisiana, 1 from Shreveport, Louisiana, 1 FBI agent from Fayetteville, North Carolina, 1 FBI agent from Amarillo, Texas, another FBI agent from Abilene, Texas, 1 more FBI agent from Frisco, Texas, and 1 FBI agent from Dalton, Georgia. There is a combined number of 89 FBI agents who have investigated this case over 10 different states. That is insane. That is absolutely unbelievable. The FBI is smart. They are very smart. They are very educated. They are good at what they do. And the fact that there are close to 100, 89, that's close to 100 FBI agents across 10 states in this country worked together to work on this case. What's more interesting is there is a roundabout number total of 175 police departments, FBI agents, sheriff's offices, and I have that breakdown too, agents and investigators. There is 35 officers directly that worked from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, 14 officers from the Colorado Springs Law Enforcement Office, 4 officers from the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, 23 investigators and law enforcement agents out of Myrtle Beach Police Department, 5 investigators and sheriff deputies out of Horry County Sheriff's Department, the Colorado Department of Corrections, there's 1 agent, there's 1 investigator or sheriff, I'm not sure, I didn't research his name, out of Douglas County, Colorado. There is a total of 6 district attorneys from Colorado Springs who have been involved in this investigation. These numbers are insane, absolutely insane, and absolutely astounding. To look at these numbers and know how much work and effort and manpower and just unbelievable dedication went in to finding some sort of justice, some sort of answers for Gannon is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I can't I'm sorry, it doesn't a dumb somebody who's not smart, who lacks intellect, who lacks the ability to be calculated or manipulative or lacks the ability to be secretive wouldn't require almost 90 FBI agents to investigate them. That's a lot. Spanning across 10 states, that is a lot. And Chris Cox, that is a great point. You said, remember he is military. Yes. Hey, Irish, he is military. However, when the FBI brings in all these different states across the nation, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's a good crazy because they did what they had to do to get the answers that were needed for Gannon. But, there was a podcast published today, and I can't wait to listen to it. Amy brought it to my attention that it's a podcast about the Crime Online interview and how Tisha was actually calling Crime Online from Google Voice, with this information. And I said a long time ago, and I got scrutinized for this, and that's okay. It's completely okay. But Tisha told us, she was telling us a story. She was 100% telling us a story. And you had to follow the breadcrumbs. You had to read between the lines. You had to pick apart what she said. You had to, on top of the background reports and looking at everything that she had to say, it was very important to pay attention to everything that she said. And I wholeheartedly believe that law enforcement did that and then some, obviously. Hold on, I just want to read this comment really quick. Yeah, that's a good point, Sheila. You had seen her in chats talking about Chris Watts. She said she followed true crime. She had been involved in the Heather Elvis case. She was also in a true crime group, I believe, for that lady. I don't remember the girl's name. And this was just a couple weeks before Gannon went missing, actually. The girl in Arizona, the woman who suffocated her 3 children and posed them on the couch, and her family thought that they were sleeping. So, let me read some of this. Yeah, Becca, there's a lot of little pieces you have to pick apart her statements. And I also wanted to bring, I received portions of a phone call, the same phone call many of you have heard. Portions of that phone call were actually sent to me on, let me tell you, this was before her arrest. I just have to look. Actually, this is how I can look. I don't have that date in front of me. Okay, so portions of that phone call were sent to me on February 19th. And what's interesting is I told you guys that we did turn in information to law enforcement. We turned in several tips to law enforcement. And one of the names that is listed on, I'm not going to call anybody out because I don't believe that this person is involved in any way, shape, or form. But we took everything that was given to us and we turned it into law enforcement for a tip. And we did so by somebody who's very close to the case. And the name of the person who sent me pieces of this phone call is on that witness list. So it's interesting. Karen Wise, do I think she planned this? I'm undecided about that. Oh, you hear my wind chimes, Amanda? Yeah. I just hung them back up. I'm not sure that she planned this. Go I was going through the witness list today, and I can give you guys a few more facts. And, it's okay if, it's okay that other creators might believe, oh, I see what you're saying. You're from Indiana, but that call wasn't from you. It's totally okay that other creators believe what, they believe, and that I fully support that. Do your thing on YouTube. Myself, I'm not sure how planned this was. I do think there is 100% premeditation there. I don't know that it was planned months in advance. I mean, it could be. I don't have the information to support that. But I do believe that premeditation does exist. And we see that in the video that she accidentally took the night before. I'm with you, Madam Deficit. I'm with you. It's your belief that she lost her temper. I think something transpired on Sunday night. I do. And I think she severely hurt Gannon. And when you put that into account with the neighbor's most recent interview with Roderick Drayton's most interview, saying that, he saw Gannon on the video surveillance footage and Gannon could barely walk. And you put that together with the Sunday night video. And I think if she had, and these are just my opinion, this is just speculation. We all think differently, which is a great thing. I think if this was something that was really, really premeditated, like to the fact that you're talking months or years, I don't think that she would have done it the way that she did it. I don't think that Lena would be listed as a witness, because if you're going to premeditate killing your 11-year-old stepchild, why would you have your 8-year-old stepchild in the same home that's able to speak about things that went on in the hours prior or the evening prior? I just, if you're going to premeditate something like that, I think it would be a little less sloppy, because she is sloppy. One thing I did want to point out that I did not notice on the witness list, they have all these different gas stations and carryouts around Garden of the Gods, but they don't have Burger King. They don't have Burger King, and I don't know what that means. Maybe they just didn't investigate Burger King. Maybe they didn't think that was relevant from Sunday. Maybe. But here's another scenario is that, let me look at my numbers here because I want to make sure I give you guys correct numbers. I don't want to tell you something that is not accurate. Oh, you can hear the kids outside, not mine, riding dirt bikes. Subway. There are 3 witnesses from Subway listed on the witness list, which is interesting. I can go over a couple of these other numbers here. What do we have? The Conoco, there's 3 witnesses, which is also like the 7-Eleven, I guess. The Come and Go in Fountain, there's 3 witnesses. USAA, there's 2. Petco, there's 3 witnesses. There's 1 Nintendo support specialist witness, 3 Subway witnesses, 1 Green Dot witness, 2 Enterprise car rental witnesses, 5 Avis car rental witnesses, 1 Synchrony Bank witness, 1 Kohl's out of Colorado Springs witness, 1 Ring LE security expert witness, 1 JP Morgan witness, 2 Mountain View Electric witnesses, 2 Wells Fargo witnesses. There are 2 witnesses for waste management, which would be the garbage company, but one of them is for the transfer station. There's one PayPal witness, there's one VW dealer witness. There are so many witnesses. I'm still digging through this. There's one Amex witness. There's a lot. There's a lot. And when you put that in perspective with the search warrants, you can kind of look at it like this. Anytime something is searched, you have to get a search warrant. I know right now they're saying that there's over 107 search warrants. So we know that 3 vehicles were seized. There would be a search warrant for each vehicle. There would be a search warrant for every one of those rental cars. There's going to be a search warrant for the house. Even if Al gave consent to go in the house, there still has to be a search warrant because anything gathered from that house has to be obtained under a search warrant so it is admissible in court. There's going to be a search warrant for the Ring doorbell. There's going to be search warrants for Verizon. There's going to be search warrants for all of the neighbors' surveillance footage, every neighbor's surveillance footage that law enforcement collected. We don't know how many neighbors actually gave footage. We know of one or a couple, one specifically who has published or who has released footage. There is going to be search warrants for all that private property searches that we saw a couple weeks ago, because where they were searching up in the monument area, that was all private property and private land. So there would be search warrants for that land. And if there were multiple land parcels searched with multiple owners, you're going to see multiple search warrants there. You're going to see search warrants for all social media. Every account Tecia has. I can tell you that Tecia has 2 Facebook accounts. I have it on the one very limited background check I was able to pull on her. She has 2 disabled accounts. You're going to see search warrants on Harley's social media. You're going to see search warrants on every bank account, every credit card, all CCTV footage at all of these places, like the Come and Go, the Subway, the Kohl's, the rental car places. You're going to see a lot of these search warrants are going to apply to these places, because when they pull footage from these businesses, they have to do it the right way. They have to do it, law enforcement has to do it through the proper channels. And the only way to secure that this information and this footage and whatever they've taken, the only way to secure that is viable in court is by a search warrant. So I know 107 search warrants sounds like a lot, but when you compare that to the witness list, it makes sense, because there's a lot of businesses on that witness list, a lot. A couple other things I did want to just clarify, because this is interesting. I'm putting this together slowly but surely. So, and I don't know if any of this is relevant to Gannon's disappearance and ultimately his alleged murder. I don't know if this is relevant, but we are going to discuss it. I am building a timeline on it, and I hope to have it together to go over it this weekend. So, Albert, Landon, Tecia, and Chance were all neighbors in 2004 to 2006, living in the same apartment complex. All 4 of them knew each other back. I mean, if they didn't know each other, they at least knew of each other, because their apartments were like 500 feet apart back in 2004 to 2006. Landon and Al separated September 8th, 2014. Tecia and Chance divorced on December 7th, 2011. Okay. So then again, you have the separation of Landon and Al on September 8th of 2014. and you have Chance dying. Chance died in Cincinnati, Ohio on October 2nd, 2014, which brings me to this. So I figured this out earlier. They have one of the people who are listed, or one of the witnesses who are listed on the search warrant is, I gotta get in my messages for this one, guys. Sorry, I can't remember everything off the top of my head. I wish I could. One moment. If I can find it. Okay, so the Westchester Police Department is listed as a witness, and that is in Butler County, Ohio. I may have very well been inaccurate, and I have no problem saying if I was wrong. I said last night that Chance's autopsy would have been done through Hamilton County, Ohio. It very well could have been done through Hamilton County. It very well could have. But I am now leaning towards it being done through Butler County, because with the Westchester Police Department being listed as a witness, that is Butler County, Ohio. And it's actually Westchester is right on the line, right on the county line between Butler and Hamilton. So I guess there is a possibility that Chance's autopsy was taken and done in Butler County and not Hamilton County like I originally thought. I will get the answer for that for sure, though. I do find it interesting that Michaela, they totally border each other. They do. I find it very interesting that Westchester Police Department in Southern Ohio is listed as a witness. That's very interesting to me, especially when you consider the Butler County coroner being listed as a witness. And then you look at these dates. These dates are really, really interesting to me. I don't know what they mean. I'm not insinuating that they mean anything. It's kind of got my, what is that, your spidey senses? Like, I'm just kind of like, what does this mean? Hi, Tammy. When you look at the day that, Landon and Albert separated on September 8th, 2014. Chance died on October 2nd, 2014. And if I remember correctly, I don't know. I want to say that they got married. I want to say that Tisha and Al got married in January of 2015. So I could be wrong about that month, but I do believe it might be January. I have the information somewhere. I'm going to text Amy and see if she remembers. So those dates are all very, very interesting. And I'm going to build a timeline on that and go over that this weekend. Another thing to consider, Al was not in the reserves. I've heard that stated. That is not accurate to my knowledge. He is a first lieutenant. He's a first lieutenant. I know he was in the National Guard, and I believe he is Army. Tammy, what is whose full name? You're welcome to email me if you want. You can email me at realmassacretalklive@gmail.com. Rhonda, she was divorced from the ex. She was divorced from Chance when he died. Her and Chance got divorced in 2011. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's in the Army National Guard, but he's active duty. That is his full-time job. He is a first lieutenant. Yeah, I had heard it being said that he's in the reserves, and I just wanted to clarify that he is military is his job. That is what he does. Tisha Renee, I don't know if she was getting child support or not, but I know that once Chance died, she would have started getting Social Security. So I don't really feel comfortable saying, that she had anything to do with his death. I'm pretty certain I know how he passed away. I will get that information though. It's very possible that maybe she had a life insurance policy on him. That's an interesting suggestion. Pink Lady, that's actually a very interesting suggestion. There is a story there. So Carly, she wouldn't have gotten any survivor benefits herself for Chance passing away. Rhonda Blackburn, I don't believe it was a car accident or a motorcycle accident in Ohio. I don't believe that, just based on comments that I have saw from back when it happened. And it seemed to be very hush hush. People said, "Oh my gosh, what happened? How did Chance die?" And the responses were, "Message me." So I'm not going to insinuate what I think it is. That's not my place, but I will get the facts of how he died. Absolutely. And Lurker, you're saying active guard reserves. Okay. He is a first lieutenant. Yeah, Michaela, that's a good point. Depending on the state, you have to be married to a certain number of years to collect Social Security for an ex-spouse. In many states, it is 10 years. So, I mean, he died in 2014. I'm not sure about their marriage date yet. We're still working on a lot of stuff. I'm with you, Tisha, on that thought. Um, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to really, we're really, really pulling records behind the scenes right now and trying to figure this all out. But what I will say is that without a doubt, once Chance died, she would have gotten, and she did get benefits for Harley. Absolutely. She got SSI benefits for Harley. Um, Aaron, Ethan, you just wonder the real reason she lost her temper. Did you know, Carly, actually they can get it until I think they're 21 if they go to college. So I actually had I think most of you know this. I had a cousin that was pulled off of life support last week. It's been yesterday. Yesterday was a week ago that he was pulled off of life support, and he has two minor children, and he's married. And his children, one of them is actually battling cancer. I'm not going to go into the whole story. He's battling a very rare cancer. So it's a really sad story, but um, his wife, my cousin's wife, will now be able to collect Social Security benefits for herself along with the two kids. But no, they can get it to 21, Wendy, if they are in college. I have another cousin whose father passed away when he was 12. There's a certain way you have to do it, but if you are a dependent of your parent and you go to college, they can actually your parents can actually collect benefits on you till 21. Oh, thank you guys. It's okay. I wasn't putting that out there for sympathy or anything. It's just sadly I have knowledge of some of this stuff just because some of the stuff that my own family has been through. Um, yeah, Wendy, I know that's how it goes for child support. Child support is 18 or graduation, whichever is later. But Social Security benefits, there's a way to do it. You can get it as long as you go to college until you're 21 and you are a dependent of your parent. So, and we know that Harley was going to college. I think, what did she join? Was it the Guard that she joined? I can't remember what she joined, but I feel bad for Harley too. And I pray to God that her mother did not involve her in any of this. I really, truly pray to God that Tisha didn't drag her daughter into any of this. Oh, thank you, Glowing Ember. Well, Wendy, I don't know. I maybe call your Social Security office and check it out, but I know for a fact that you can get it when you're in college. The email address is realmassacretalklive@gmail.com. Thank you, Sad Soul. I'm going to read some of your comments for a bit. I don't know if I had anything else written down. I have a lot of stuff I'm going to be looking up. I got a busy weekend ahead of me, guys. My house needs clean too. Why do you guys think the DEA is involved? Isn't that interesting? Could that be because I know Gannon was on medication, but Chase died in a mining accident? Are you sure about that, Chris? Like, can you email me with some proof or something? Because I've requested his autopsy. CBS 42? Okay. That would be great to know. Yeah, I'll definitely look that up. I don't know why the family wasn't vocal about that because you can go back and look. Maybe they were quiet because it was going to be like some type of lawsuit situation or something. Oh, that's a good point, JA. Maybe if food was tested, the DEA got involved. Chris Cox, my email is realmassacretalklive@gmail.com. Yeah, I was thinking maybe the prescription access, maybe they were looking at what prescriptions she took, looking at Gannon's prescriptions. Definitely email me, Chris. I'd love to hear what you have to say because I did request his autopsy report. Pink Lady, Danielle, do you think that video says I'm bleeding? The video that I got, I didn't hear that. I know that was published somewhere else, and I don't want to discredit anybody else because I don't know where they got their information from. Personally, my personal opinion, I don't hear it. But to be fair, I constantly am saying around my house, hey guys, I can't hear. So, when not that I have a hearing problem, I'm not very good at picking up little stuff like that. That is one of my weaknesses. Ann Chenoweth says that she hears it. Tisha says that she doesn't hear it. So I think it's interesting. Oh, wow. I just got a tweet that Colorado's first coronavirus death was reported in El Paso County. Oh, boy. A woman in her 80s. That's sad. Aaron, I hope that Harley knew nothing. Or I also hope that if Harley suspects something, that she's been honest. She seems like a very sweet girl in her videos. I feel my heart goes out to Harley. It really does, because at this point, I do believe that Harley is a victim as well. There's a lot of victims. There's a lot of, what would you call it? Gannon is the ultimate victim, but there are a lot of surrounding victims in this case. It's really sad for Lena. It's very sad for Harley. Harley lost her father. Her dad died. Now her mom's in jail. That's a sad situation. That's terrible. This 17-year-old girl is facing this world alone. I know she has extended family and everything, but that's hard. Yeah, it was that. And it was that YouTube channel. We don't really mention other channels here just because I try to keep it neutral zone. We don't talk about other channels, other creators in any way. It just works better that way. You can hear it with headphones. Okay. Maybe I'll borrow my son's earbuds and listen to it and see what I can hear. Tammy, yes, I will be on later tonight. Be careful at the store. I'm not going to preach to you, but, wipe your cart down. And fun fact, you guys, Listerine doubles as a hand sanitizer if you can't find any hand sanitizer at the store. You're okay, Ann. You're okay. Yeah, I think most people know where that video is at. I just, we don't like to channel drop names around here because we don't want to cause any problems or somebody say the wrong thing or any of that. We just try to keep it neutral. I have respect for all creators. Yeah, Becca, Harley is left to fend for herself. It's very, very sad. Yep, that's what I thought. That's what I had said, Amanda, that Al and Tisha married in January 2015. That's what I had written down. So it's very interesting how quick Al and Tisha married after Landon and Al separated and after Chance died. It's interesting to me. Because Chance died October 2nd, 2014. And then, just a month prior, Landon and Al had separated. Hey, Maui girl. Vodka works great too, Bean Sprout. I actually last night ordered rubbing alcohol and aloe vera gel off of eBay. Yeah. It's a fun fact, isn't it? I'm telling everybody that. Go buy some Listerine. If you need hand sanitizer, pour it on your hands. Or you can use vodka. Vodka works great. It's too expensive, though, to pour over your hands. Unless you're drinking, like, garbage vodka. But I don't drink these days, but if I drink, I can't drink any of that stuff that I used to drink when I was about 21, in case my kids are listening. 21. Aw, yes, Gannon, we do love you to the moon and back. Oh, they announced the nationwide emergency now. Yes, you're right, Tisha Renee. Washing hands is much better than hand sanitizer. If you don't have access to soap and hot water is a necessity. To soap and water, hand sanitizer is a good, on the go option. Becca, are you laughing at my statement about can't drink that cheap stuff anymore like I did when I was, 21 and legal, if my kids are listening? Because you can't drink until you're 21. My son informed me the other day that him and his girlfriend listen when they get really bored. So, oh, glowing ember. You can do both. But if you're going to drink vodka, I would highly suggest that it's like Tito's, Grey Goose, because the rest of the stuff will give you a headache. Um, oh, thank you, CB. You're awesome. Yeah, I can't say that, Yvette. I can't because I know my kids listen. So all of my drinking days definitely came after I was 21 years old, right? My mom might be listening too, so I was definitely 21. Yeah, don't buy vodka like don't buy Tito's or Grey Goose to pour on your hands. I mean, buy like the cheap stuff to pour on your hands. But if you're buying it to drink and pour on your hands, you know what I'm saying. Pour it in your hands and drink it all off your hands. Don't waste it. You guys are funny. You always crack me up. No more anxious feelings when drunk. Hey, Carla. Aw. So, yeah, I'm going to work on this crazy, crazy timeline. Crazy timeline. I think I'm going to have an interesting timeline for you guys, hopefully. By tomorrow night. That's all I plan on doing. Don't tell anybody who knows me because they'll be like, oh, why don't you go do this? Or why don't you go do that? And I'm going to have to say no because I want to get this information out there. So, what else did another thing I wanted to touch base on. We do have the custody agreement in our Facebook group. We have the custody agreement. And when you are an active military member and you have joint custody of your children, you have to have what is called a military family care plan. That's just something that they do. And T is named in the custody agreement as being able to, have care over the kids. And that is why she is named in the custody agreement. Because Al and Landon had joint custody of their children. And with Al being an active duty military member, there is that chance that, he's going to get sent away or he's going to have to go away on trips like we saw. That's exactly what happened when Gannon went missing. I don't even like to call it Gannon went missing because now we know that's not what happened. Gannon, yes, he is essentially missing. He needs to be found, but I feel it's deceptive for me to say when Gannon went missing because that's T's words. That's T speaking. That's what T said. So I need to come up with a new thing to say because it's just one of those things that kind of just, I don't like it. Yeah, Carly P. I think if you scroll up in the chat, the list is there. And the mods that are down there will keep sharing it. And then Doodlebug, I don't know if you're sharing our official Facebook page, but we have that one doesn't go to Gannon's group. Let me drop Gannon's group just in case. I'm sure Doodle is sharing the right one, but just in case. Oh, I love you too, Pink Lady. Thank you for being here. I will drop Gannon's group link. So, and just for anybody who joins our groups are a little bit different than a lot of the groups that you see out there. You might notice our groups might be a little bit smaller, but it's because we just don't allow a lot of things in our groups. We'd like to really stay focused on the case and not the petty arguments that happen in Facebook groups or the drama. And we don't laugh at other people's comments. We don't degrade people in our groups. We just really try to maintain respect. I love you too, Nolan. We try to maintain respect for all group members, whether you like their opinion or not. If you don't like it, there's this great policy of scrolling and rolling. We don't laugh at people. Oh, okay, awesome, Doodle. Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't sure what you were sharing. So, our group might be smaller, but the Real Massacre Talk team is, we are all firm believers in quality over quantity. So, that's not to discount any of the groups that are larger, not saying that they don't have any quality in there. We just prefer everybody to be respectful and honest, and you know that's just how we roll because that's how we are in life. So we try to keep that streamlined across our social media interaction. So this is the thing. Gannon flew home, I believe, on January 18th or January 18th. I'm sorry. That is wrong. That was a incorrect date. January 8th. Gannon flew back to Colorado on January 8th. He wanted to stay with his mother. Him and Lena both wanted to stay with Landon. Landon was trying to make that happen. Al was okay with it. Unfortunately, some things didn't allow for that to happen. I'm not going to elaborate on that because it's not my place. It was nothing that Landon did wrong. She is a great mother. She loves her kids. Um, Landon was going through a split up, and it's really sad to me. It's really sad to me because I'm sure both Landon and Al are both going to think for the rest of their lives, what if? What if, they they and they didn't do anything wrong. They did what they felt was best at the time and what they had to do at the time for the best interest of their children, and this monster just invaded their lives and and betrayed their trust and just destroyed them all. Destroyed them all. It's really sad. Oh, thank you, Trigger Jan. I love True Helper. He's a very close friend of mine. Um, so it's just, hindsight's 2020, and I think I just can't imagine as a parent looking back and thinking, oh my gosh, my kids wanted to stay with me, and we had it worked out so they could stay with me, and because this happened, or I couldn't make this happen, or this was going on, it wasn't possible at the time, and look at us now. And that is no way Landon's fault. No way. No way. um Glowing Ember, I believe you are right. She did miscarry twins. There was something mentioned about that. Where did I see that at? And that came directly from Landon herself, wherever I saw it. Oh, I think it was one of her posts talking about how Landon was talking about how, every day is a day closer to her seeing Gannon again, and she knows that Gannon is in heaven with his twin sisters. So, um, that's very sad. She has glowing embers. She's been through the ringer, and it's awful to consider. The emotions that this family is going to face, that these parents are going to face, are just horrible. Horrible to even try to wrap your mind around as a parent, or even just a human being with a heart. Al is the one who married Tisha. Al trusted her, and even Landon trusted her. So I don't feel that it is fair to say that Landon or Al failed Gannon. That's not fair to say. But it is absolutely fair to say that Letecia failed Gannon. She was in a position of trust with this little boy. And, con artists are really good at what they do. This woman she's crafty. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I couldn't tell you how many background reports I pulled in the years that I've been doing this. She is the one person I've not been able to find one on. It's very, very. Oh, Kelly girl, that's sweet. She's a very manipulative woman. That is my opinion. That's how I feel about her. And I don't know, it's sad. It's just sad. Uh Tigger Jan, you can actually rewind the replay. You can put it back to where it started and watch from the beginning while I'm still live. Yeah, I think absolutely, Melinda. Tisha failed Gannon, Landon, and Al. When you trust somebody with your children, I mean, you're trusting them with part of your identity, part of your soul. Anybody who's a parent knows that the love you have for your kids is unbelievable. It's a love that you can't even explain. So, absolutely, Letecia failed Gannon, Landon, Al, and she also failed Lena and Harley. And I don't think anybody expected this from her. I don't. I really don't. And it is the ultimate betrayal. When you put your child, I mean, it's no different than, people take their kids to daycare and their children unfortunately get hurt at the hands of daycare providers. Those providers are in a position of trust. They're supposed to be caring for your children. Letecia was in a position of trust. She's listed in the custody agreement for when Al is away. So, I mean, you can look at, there's a great grand scheme of things to look at, when you look at this case, and we do examine all aspects of this case. We will eventually go through, the whole how Landon and Al separated and how Landon or Tisha and Al ended up together. All of that. We're working on all of that. But still to this day, what matters is that Gannon is not found. My boys are playing video games and arguing, so I apologize. There's a lot that has went on through the years. You have divorces, you have remarriages, you have step parents, and it's a lot to take in and a lot to figure out. I mean, it took 89 FBI agents across 10 states to investigate this one case, this one woman, and not to diminish Gannon's value at all, because I'm not saying that at all. He's one missing child. One missing child and one woman who's accused of his disappearance and his murder, and it took almost 100 FBI agents across 10 states. That tells you something. So, Landon has a whole video of Gannon playing Sega. I wonder if that's a video that he had posted on YouTube. It's sad. I think it is very hard to accept that Gannon's gone. It hurts so much. Mojo says, in my opinion, if she killed him, the scenario is she planned this in Googled areas and ditched him. The chat's moving pretty fast. That darling boy like a broken toy. That's very possible. Carla D, you're right. In an instant, Tisha changed so many lives. So many lives. And I agree with you, Karen. Gannon has touched so many lives. He's our hero. He's connected people who would have never been connected in the past, you know? That's a great question, Madam Deficit. Does anybody think she will talk? I don't know. What's the chat think? Do you think Tisha will talk? I'm torn. I honestly bounce back and forth. I think maybe she's scared enough that she will talk. I pray that she will talk. I pray that she will tell him where his body is. I also think she's very self-serving, very all about herself, very much a liar, because I've seen lie after lie after lie. We all have. She didn't care about protecting Gannon in life. So why would she care about protecting him in death? But like Irish said, if it benefits her, she may talk. And that's a good point too. Madam Deficit, you think she will do whatever hurts people the most. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, it's just... That's another thing. That death penalty is still on the table. I think I had said in the past that it was off the table because of the legislation being changed. Can you guys hear me? Because I totally pulled my headphones out. Could you hear me? Sorry, I don't know how long my headphones have been pulled out, but I had said that legislation had changed about the death penalty and that she wasn't facing the death penalty, but I actually shared an article yesterday to our Facebook group that the death penalty is still on the table for her because she was charged before July 1st of 2020. Yeah, JA, I understand that. You know, I understand people. Yeah, my dog was drinking water. Did you hear that? It's crazy how much my headphones pick up, right? You can hear everything. Yeah, Monica, the DA is considering it. So JA, you were saying you can't. You can't stop a small thought in your head that maybe she has someone keeping him. I know it's because I don't want to accept it. She said there needed to be a reward on the phone call. Yeah, she did say that. Sorry. Um, it's so loud in my neighborhood at this time of day. My gosh. There's horns beeping, dirt bikes going, my dogs are drinking water. Sorry, guys. Um, I totally understand why you're holding on to that thought, JA. I think it's a thought of hope. Hey, Joe. And I totally understand it. I just she wouldn't have the charges against her that she has if Gannon was alive. Law enforcement would not have put Al and Landon through the emotional heartache of telling them that their son is believed to be dead if he was alive, if there was even a chance that he was alive. So, well, see, actually working on my gains, you said if they charge her with the death penalty, they risk putting that on a jury. We saw how that failed with Casey Anthony. Jurors have a hard time putting young mothers to death. The thing is, though, is that the death penalty is a separate phase. You can still be found guilty in a death penalty case and not get the death penalty. It's a totally separate phase. Totally. You go to the death penalty phase of a trial once you are found guilty. And you can still not get the death penalty after the death penalty phase. So, hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry guys. Oh, you're listening while you drive, car guy 72, aka Joe. Yeah, the death penalty phase is completely separate. Absolutely, sad soul. They have to have extreme evidence that he is not alive anymore and charged with first-degree murder. Hold on, I need to take this message. Okay. It's a good point, Yvette. Hey, Dave. Thanks for joining us here. You think the only way that she will talk is with the death penalty. It's interesting. Interesting. I think she thought her runaway story was really going to work. I do think she thought that was going to work. And when she talks about the shadows, she said you can see shadows on the neighbor's surveillance video. That's like a huge trigger in my head. Okay, you followed the Watts case. That's what I think. All right, Tisha, you followed the Watts case. You knew what happened with shadows in that case. So I don't know. I'm probably going to wrap it up in about 5 minutes, guys, because I'll be back on later tonight. And I have to cook dinner and do all that good stuff. So if there's anything you want to ask before I end this. Yes, that's my puppy dog's paws. They just prance around the house, guys. Husky love. Oh, I wonder if I sent a picture. I can show you guys my huskies. Let me find the picture and I will show you. So you can see the two wild beasts that you hear in the background. It's kind of a fuzzy picture. They're both looking at the camera. Dee Dee, are you in our Facebook group? Because all of her aliases, there's a whole post on her, and every post is actually categorized into topics. So that would be under the topic Letecia T. Stauch, quotation marks SM for stepmom. I'm with you, Amy. I think the same thing. I don't think she thought that they were going to be onto her. I think she thought that, you know, hey, you can report a kid as a runaway and the cops don't really worry about kids that are runaways. And yeah, they're there. There's a whole long post about it. It was posted by Sienna, one of our admins of the group and part of the Real Massacre Talk team. She's got a whole long list of Tisha's aliases. And what's interesting is El Paso County has one of her aliases listed as Letecia Leanne. I think I had said, well, maybe, you know, maybe it was just how she pronounced it. Her name's Letecia Lynn. Maybe they got it wrong when they entered it, like Leanne, Lynn, you know, it could have been completely with how she pronounced it. But I think I was wrong about that because they still have her alias listed as Letecia Lynn or Letecia Leanne. One second. We're going to wrap this up, though. I'm going to pull up this picture of my puppy dogs that you guys all hear all the time. If you want to drop some love for Gannon and all his family. When I'm on live later, it won't be as loud because nobody will be riding dirt bikes around my house. Oops. All right, let me get this one pulled up. So drop some love for Gannon, light it up blue for him. Remember that the tip line is still open. I don't have that banner scrolling. I'll put it up there just so you guys have the number. You can call the El Paso County Sheriff's Office with any tips, 719-520-6666, or email them at tips@elpasoco.com with any credible, true tips that may lead to finding Gannon. They are still looking to recover his little body. I'm sorry. I hate even saying that. Let's see. Is the picture there? All right. Those are my babies right there. 2 of my babies. Let me try to zoom in a little bit for you. Oh, that got it way big, huh? Those are my puppy dogs. So those are the water slurping, nail clicking, grumbling, howling animals that you hear in the background. Thank you, Yvette. The one on the left, they're both rescues. The one on the left, her name is actually Corona. She was named when I got her. That was her name. And the one on the right is my male husky. He's the one who acts like he's only about 3. So he acts like a typical 3-year-old. He's wild. He's funny. They are my babies. J.A., you have a red and white male. Yeah, you can't really tell in this picture, but my female is red and white, and then my male is white and gray. So his name is Zeke. Those are 2 of my 3 dogs. My other one's a little Shih Tzu. That was my parents' dog. The blind one is the Shih Tzu. He has diabetes, and he has went blind from diabetes. He was my parents' dog. My stepdad got sick and asked me to take care of him while he was sick, and because my mom worked full-time at the time. And then my stepdad unfortunately passed away, and I've had the dog now for 6 years. So essentially, I've taken all my dogs in from other places. I've given them all your favorite beer, Monica. I've given them all a home. So I am going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Make sure you share some love for Gannon below. Light it up blue for him. Let his family know that we're thinking and praying for them. And keep him in your prayers that we find him. I'll be back on later, though, guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And to all of my mods, you all are amazing. You work so hard. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate all of you in the chat. I will talk to you guys all later. Have a good day. Bye.